Once upon a time, an old man and his son ran a small roadside inn in a village called Saitien, in the Yangshin district. The village was a few miles away from the district city. One evening, as the sun was setting, four strangers arrived at the inn and asked for a place to stay for the night. The old man told them that all the beds were already occupied. However, the strangers insisted that they couldn't go back and pleaded with him to find some space for them. Eventually, the old man agreed to accommodate them if they weren't too fussy, and they assured him they weren't. The old man's daughter-in-law had recently passed away, and her body was lying in the women's quarters, waiting for a coffin that his son had gone to buy. He led the strangers to that room, placed a lamp on the table, and showed them the sleeping arrangements. At the far end of the room lay the corpse, dressed in paper robes as per tradition, while there were sleeping couches for the four men in the front section. Exhausted from their journey, the men quickly fell asleep, except for one who was still awake when he heard a creaking noise from the trestles holding the corpse. Opening his eyes, he saw the dead girl lifting the coverings and getting down from the trestles. She had a pale yellow face and a silk kerchief around her head. She approached the sleeping men and blew on each of them. The awake traveler, terrified, covered his face with the bedclothes and held his breath. He felt her breathe on him too before she returned to her place and lay down again. The traveler peeked out and saw her back in her original position. He tried to wake his companions by kicking them, but they didn't move. He decided to dress quickly and escape, but as he started, he heard the creaking noise again and hid under the bedclothes. The corpse approached him once more, breathed on him several times, and then returned to her place. Gathering his courage, he slowly put on his trousers, jumped up, and ran out of the room. The corpse chased him, but he managed to get outside and run towards the highway leading to the city, screaming for help. He came across a monastery and banged on the gate, but the priest inside didn't understand what was happening and didn't open the door. With the corpse close behind, the traveler hid behind a tree, dodging left and right to avoid her. This enraged the corpse, and in a final attempt to catch him, she lunged forward with arms outstretched. The traveler fell backward, and the corpse ended up rigidly embracing the tree, stuck fast. The priest, hearing the commotion, came out and found the traveler unconscious on the ground. He brought him inside and revived him by morning. After drinking some broth, the traveler recounted his terrifying experience. At dawn, they went to examine the tree and found the corpse firmly attached to it. The magistrate was informed and arrived to handle the situation. They struggled to remove the corpse because her fingers had dug deeply into the bark, but eventually, they managed to free her. A messenger was sent to the inn, which was in chaos after discovering the other three travelers dead in their beds. The old man retrieved his daughter-in-law's body, and the surviving traveler asked the magistrate for something to prove what had happened to his fellow townsmen. The magistrate gave him a certificate, and the traveler returned home alone.